Did you know that winter is the prime season for boosting melatonin production? So in this video, let's dive into melatonin and how it can improve your sleep, your immunity, your overall health, and ways you might be able to support it and block it. Hello everyone, my name is Krista and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk all about melatonin, and I love this hormone. The more I've gotten to know about melatonin, the more I really appreciate and understand all of its benefits. You know, years ago I kind of heard about it, but since I've dove into this and researched this more and actually been able to implement more melatonin in my life, I've noticed a big difference. So that's what I want to share with you today, all about melatonin, and really as a woman, if you are watching me, or for really anybody, the importance of having melatonin in our life and how you can make it almost become your best friend because it is so important. So let's talk about melatonin. It is a hormone. It is an antioxidant, which you may or may not be aware. So it does impact other hormones as well too. When melatonin is being produced in our body, this kind of, it helps to kind of support other antioxidant in our body as well too. So this is really the master antioxidant. It supports our immune system. It supports so many different factors that are so important, and this is why we want to make sure we're getting enough of it in the winter months. If we kind of think about it, vitamin D is the hormone that is produced in the summer months, and melatonin is produced in the winter months. So really, nature is so smart. We can't outsmart this. Really, it is reasons why the changing of the seasons can make a big difference. We really want to maximize our vitamin D in the summer, but we also want to maximize our melatonin stores and in the winter months as well too. So it is really that important. So how is melatonin made? Well, there's a variety of different ways. I'm going to talk about two right now, just kind of give you an overview. I don't want this to be too techy. But melatonin is, first of all, it's made through our mitochondria in our cells in our body. And this is kind of called subcellular melatonin. And that is produced by near infrared light, which we do get from sunlight. So that's why I'm always encouraging people to get out during the day. Most of us kind of live indoor lives, but really want to be outside as often as possible. And even just short bursts of it, just getting outside. We kind of live indoors probably more than our ancestors did. And we really want to be getting out frequently during the day. We don't want to live an indoor lifestyle. So getting outside regularly throughout the day, I'm a big believer of getting outside kind of for that first morning light. This is when, all the magic happens, and I'm someone that really is outside in the morning. I'm making sure my eyes are absorbing that, getting that signal from sunrise, that morning light into my eyes, which sets you up for a good night's sleep later on. Melatonin is made there as well too. So getting outside, getting some, light in our eyes, getting some, light on our body is really going to help support our sleep, our immunity, and moving forward. Also, melatonin can be made in our pineal gland, and this is probably what most people are probably aware of about how melatonin is, may help us sleep at night. And this melatonin is made just really by the absence of darkness. When the sun sets at night, this is what signals to our body that melatonin can be produced. Again, our body is really wise. This is what happens. So if we are someone who is looking at our tablet, if we're looking at our phone, if we have these bright overhead lights on overhead, if the TV's on and, you're out shopping and all that fluorescent lights are on, this is going to impact our body's ability to make melatonin. Again, our body senses this light and thinks, oh, okay, we're not in darkness right now. I will keep that stress hormone cortisol up, and then which is going to oppose melatonin. So our body is unable to make that melatonin when we still have those bright lights on. That's why I always would suggest you dim your lights in the evening as much as possible. Maybe just have floor lamps on. If you can turn off overhead lights, that would be really helpful. Getting off devices if possible. Again, dimming lights. If you have like a salt lamp, maybe you have that on. If you are someone that has a red light panel, using that as well too. Just trying to not have this, night ball game kind of look, if you know what I mean. So trying to dim lights is really a great way to start. And this is going to signal to our body that indeed it is time getting ready for bed. And this will support our melatonin production. Just something so simple as that makes a big difference. And oftentimes we're not really taught this as much as I feel like we should be taught. But again, so simple. Another way to support our melatonin production is by keeping our room really nice and cool. We want to have a cool room. This will keep our melatonin working, kind of being supported throughout the night, which is going to help you sleep. And if you are a woman watching this, whether you're in perimenopause or menopause, I know a lot of women struggle with sleep issues. I've worked with many of them, and I was doing sleep, and again, we want to make sure that our melatonin is working throughout the night. So having a nice cool room, probably cooler than you already have. I would say 18 degrees Celsius, 65 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on where you live. Again, you want to get that temperature down. It really does make a big difference. We want to think of your bedroom like a cave. We want it really cool and we want it really dark. All right. Again, we want to have a dark room. We want to make sure as many of those lights are off, and those little green dots that you may have on some, if you have some electronics in your room, if you can put like a black plastic little stop on that to stop the light, that is helpful as well too. We really want to minimize the light, because if our eyes sense that light, again, it's going to kind of slow down or stop that melatonin production. I want your room so dark, if you put your hand up and look at it, you cannot see it. So again, we want a cool, dark room. This is going to support our melatonin, okay? And that's why, again, we're designed to get more sleep in the winter as well too, because we just had the time change recently, and it's getting darker earlier. And this is, again, the time of year when we want to be kind of, boosting our melatonin production. So those are some simple ways that we can kind of really, control our melatonin. We have a lot of control. Sometimes, we might think, oh, we just want to pop a supplement, that's going to do it. But there's ways that our body knows what to do. It is very wise, and we want to kind of use those principles first and foremost, I personally believe, before we start like reaching out to supplements or thinking that our body knows what to do. We just need to get it out of its way often, and that's kind of what happens sometimes too. So those are kind of ways we can produce melatonin, and those are ways that we can inhibit melatonin production as well too. Another thing I think it's always important to talk about is supplements, because some people will ask about supplements. And I'm not like pro, for, or against them, but again, I would defer first of all to allowing your body to make melatonin on its own first. And there are the literature changes a little bit whether these can be helpful or not. And I think that's a personal choice. Most people would not even know what their melatonin levels look like unless you had testing, but I find that's kind of a rare person that would actually know what their levels of melatonin are, first of all. And it can be, specific. I think it's very nuanced. There's some conditions or situations where maybe supplementing with melatonin can be helpful on a short-term basis as well, but again, it's nuanced, and it's not necessarily for everyone as well too. And one thing to be cautious about too is some of those melatonin supplements also, some of those levels can be quite high. So you really want to be careful and look at the amount of melatonin in them, because they vary dramatically depending on the brand and what you have bought as well too. So I first of all would go to producing our own melatonin in our body, which we can do every single day. Another fact for women too, we just finished October was Breast Awareness Month, depending on where you live, and there was a big push, obviously, for breast cancer awareness. And one of the things I kind of sadly didn't see a whole lot of mention about melatonin again as well too, and how this is, again, it's master antioxidant. It supports breast health. It's kind of foundational to breast health, and that's really will support you as well too. So making sure that we get that melatonin. Also studies show too, if you have a lot of light in your eyes in the evening, this can be another impact on getting breast cancer as well too. We really want to kind of be turning off those lights, getting off our devices as well too, because that artificial light at night does impact our hormones. It does impact breast cancer as well too. They do kind of, there is links to that as well. You can kind of look up that if you like. But again, getting off devices is really important at nighttime, all right? And that's why sometimes shift workers who just live their life, kind of opposite to their circadian rhythms are kind of, impacted as well too. And this can be a detriment as well too. Another way, again, I've kind of talked about a little bit here, is just really getting in tune with our circadian rhythm. I can't underestimate how important this is when I've worked with women. Just being able to support a healthy circadian rhythm, getting that morning light first thing, kind of shutting down in the evening, can make such a big difference to your energy levels, your mood levels, your weight, your sleep, your immunity. It just really does encompass all aspects as well too. I've seen women who, after just even 4 or 5, 6 days, that have started to adopt some circadian health principles, getting that morning light in their eyes, kind of winding down at night, how, women that have not slept in years, decades, suddenly are starting to sleep. It is that powerful, and it really makes such a big difference. So making sure your circadian rhythm is intact is part of this as well too. It goes together. You can't really have a healthy, you need to have a healthy circadian rhythm. And some of these principles are so simple. Again, it's how we were raised. It's how humans are designed to live. It's probably how your parents, your grandparents, great-grandparents lived. But sadly, we're just kind of out of sync with a lot of these principles. Hence why, there's such an epidemic of some health issues, sleep issues, and so many other kind of issues as well too. So getting back to circadian rhythm principles, in my opinion, is the first place to start. It's fundamental, and you can do all the fancy hacks here and there, but your circadian rhythm needs to be intact to really reap all of its benefits. All right, see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. Again, just, winter's coming, and this is the perfect time of year to be able to adopt some of these principles and really make melatonin your best friend, and find ways to support your own melatonin production, find ways that, might be hindering it. Just having that awareness is the first thing you can do. And again, some of these are really simple principles. It's just, we need to get out of our own way. So I'd like to kind of end this for you all. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. If you'd like more information on how to thrive moving forward, you can subscribe to my channel as well too. I'm curious if you have noticed a pattern in your sleep in the winter. Do you sleep better, or have you had issues with that as well too? You can put your comment down below, and I'm kind of just curious to hear if you've noticed patterns as well too with the connection as well. If you are someone who would like next steps on this too, if this kind of intrigued you a little bit, you'd like to kind of move forward, I have some free resources that would get you started on your circadian rhythm principles, things you could start to do tomorrow. They're really that simple. I also have a circadian rhythm reset, which is kind of a very great kind of fundamental ways to implement some of these choices as well too, and also other offerings too if you're so inclined. But I just want you to understand how important melatonin is. We are entering the season, and it really does make a big difference. So thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you being here, and I wish you all a lovely day. Bye.